Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Another edition here of the Brilliantly Dumb Show. Coming in hot, Joey D on the bottom, Mikey V right there as well. Fellas, welcome back. Michael, big game for you today. But again, we're recording this on Monday evening or Tuesday morning. So
Wasn't
there's
even going to
really
mention it. I wasn't going to mention it because I don't want to hear people. Oh, the game already got played, so I wasn't even going to mention it.
there's not a big game. There was not a big game.
Not a big game tonight. Not the biggest game of the season. Certainly not the biggest game of the last decade in terms of non-Michigan games, but no big game.
Most importantly, Vegas on the docket for the boys. Eagles concert Friday. That's so much more of a play of I like the Eagles. I think they got some bangers. I got to dig into some songs that Mikey you've been
Sending
sending
you the
them.
song of the day.
You
Song of the
have,
day, Bob.
you have, but that is. Have you been listening to this?
To the limit. One
There you
more
go.
time.
Sent a banger today. I think. What did I send today, Joe?
Today I haven't listened to today's yet.
I
but I've been
sent
listening to everyone. You
Life
sent
in the Fast Lane. Life
yeah,
in the Fast
Life
Lane.
in the Fast Lane.
Great song, bro.
Hotel
Life in the
California is
Fast
gonna hit.
Lane.
Yo, I want to be on Pluto for that concert. I want to be 3 sheets. That's so much more of just the opportunity to go with the boys than it is. Like, I think the concert's going to be fun, but it's for the boys.
I think that they're going to blow your mind. I think you're gonna at one point.
But
I'll
you've
look
seen
over
them
at
live,
you.
Michael. Have you not?
Yeah, I know. So I saw them last year, and my wife Holly sounded like Bob. She was like, "Yeah, I'll go. You know, I guess I like it. I'll go." And then, like at the end of the concert, she was like, "Oh my god!" She's like, "There's so many songs that I didn't realize that I knew that they sing," and it's like I just feel Bob's gonna have the same. It's gonna be the same thing with Bob. I just feel like by the midway through, I'll look over and Bob. I know Joe likes him a lot, but I'll look over and Bob will just be like, "Are you serious with this concert right now?" I'll get one of those from Bob. I think.
The Sphere is going to enhance everything. Too.
Well, that's yeah, that's
Well, we haven't told you, Mikey, but me and Joe got intel from a pretty reliable source. I don't know if he's fucking with us or not. That said that the Eagles concert stunk. Honest to God, like I'm being dead serious. I just don't know if it's true or not.
Well, what did your cousin say?
I didn't ask him. I probably should.
Your cousin with those posts. I think he was going nuts. He was saying that it was.
It looked like it was a ball.
Say Hey Jay went, no?
Well, that's what he's talking about. Yeah, I don't know. I should message him. I to be honest, the guy who said it might be fucking with us.
I think he's pulling your chain
everything
there,
I've heard. I mean, listen, all you have to know is they were only supposed to be there October and November, and now they're there through the new year. Like they have a residency now through 2025.
But
into 2025. So it's like I mean, all their shows are sold out. You can only get the tickets on the, third party markets, whatever. And I mean, I don't know, man. I find it hard to believe because I thought they were awesome at the Prudential Center. I can only imagine what they're going to be like in the Sphere. So
isn't the Prudential Center where you caught the mouthpiece at the UFC, or was that
sure is.
That was Prudential Center, right?
Yeah,
one of the funniest moments I've ever seen in any live sporting event. We didn't catch it. It went through the fingertips, but the
guy behind me picked it up off the ground, gave it to me.
Who, by the way, I found out is an investor in our drink.
That was very wild. Yeah, that was very wild. And a childhood friend of mine that I used to vacation with down the shore.
Well, because he's got a pizza shop. It's like a jersey.
It's
it was a classic
long
jersey.
Story. Yeah.
It always is.
Long story.
Joe, when that we were so drunk.
Did he act like he just caught a foul ball, Bob? Like these guys who go nuts.
Bro, people were pumped. I was fucking putting it in the air.
It was Kevin Holland?
Yeah, Kevin Holland. Yeah.
Who, by the way, fights every card that there ever is.
He does. Yeah, he really does.
This guy's on every second card. It's insane. I don't know how his body's handled it.
While that mouthpiece was in the air, though, and I was just like, Mikey.
It's like a moment frozen in time. It was one of those things where time just slowed down everywhere.
Yeah, but look, Vegas coming out very soon. We're very, very excited for that. It's going to be a ball. Joey D set up the Golden Steer, but the Golden Steer is not the reason why we're there, which some may think that it is. We're actually there for the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, October 20th, 2:30 Eastern Standard Time on NBC. NASCAR is heading to Las Vegas for the first race in the round of 8, and we are going to be live on the ground watching this race with you. 16 talented and determined drivers entered the playoffs, and we are officially down to only how many, Joey D?
8.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. 8 left. Anyone can win the South Point 400. So tune into the race on Sunday, October 20th at 2:30
It's
Eastern.
gonna be a good time.
It's going to be a great fucking time. And I'll tell you this, if you don't think we're betting one of our is Burton driving still?
Yeah, I don't know if he's in that race, but he's driving. He just won a race not too long ago. He just won a race couple races ago.
Maybe he's one of the 8.
I don't know who the 8 are. I'd have to look, but
It's going to be a great time, though. I can tell you that much. It's going to be a really, really good time. And I want to get up in the pits this time. I want to get up in that.
You're going to get in the pits, dog. You're going to get in the pits.
We might have to hit up Paul Swan in order to get up into the pits. We have.
I don't know if his guy's not driving. I don't know if he's going to be there.
But isn't he one of the top guys?
I thought he is,
yeah,
but I don't know. South Point 400. Let's see.
Read off the names there, Michael.
I'm going to try and find them. You boys keep going until I find the names. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, look, if we can get Burton, that would be terrific. If not, we got to ask Paul Swan. Maybe we run the Peloton Challenge back round 2.
By the way, you know what's ridiculous? Michael asked me, and it was a good idea to watch, some of the games on Saturday, like poolside. What they're charging now for these cabanas is nothing short of highway robbery. Did you see that message I sent, Michael? Bob?
Yeah.
$2,200
outrageous.
Just to rent it out with the $2,200 minimum spend for food and beverage. And it's not like it's like a big Saturday that there's some huge event.
No,
You're
there's
talking
big,
almost after tip.
Well,
that's a $5,000 expense.
Big games that Saturday, though.
I'll be honest, though, to be completely honest, I think cabanas in general are just kind of overrated. It's like once you get into them, it's kind of, it is what it is. It's nice, but I don't have much desire to watch the games at a cabana. I would much rather go to the sports book where we could fuck around.
The sports book is pretty dark, and then after a while, you're sitting in there, you feel like a degenerate. Like if you're at a pool, you got other things going on. You don't feel as bad about it. Like you're in the sun, you're getting vitamin D, Bob.
Yeah. Yeah.
These racers, there's more than 8 racers, though, participating now. There's more than 8 actually participating. It's just that there's the top 10 guys, I think. And I think this is, this is from last October. Just keep going.
It is 8. It's 8. I looked it up.
Yeah, it's not easy to find this information. I'm going to be honest with you.
I did not think Joe was going to pull that out. I mean,
I didn't think so either.
I was very
impressive.
I read the deck.
That's unbelievable.
I read the deck. Hey, listen, NASCAR is important to me. I'm going to do my due diligence. I couldn't tell you all the racers, but I can tell you there's 8 of them.
I'll be honest. I'm just going to get it out there right now. I would love to lock in with them for 2025.
Sure.
I mean,
they've been wonderful.
They really have
a tremendous partner.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna see the type of characters though that we would have seen.
You're not.
When we went to.
You're not.
No.
What was crazy though was Perez telling us that Perez has been to like 20 different races.
This guy's lived a different life.
That was great, actually.
He's done things that we could only fathom. It's unbelievable. Like he was chopping it up with these guys like he's like a NASCAR regular. It was insane.
Mike, you still looking for the drivers?
Sure am.
How many drivers are we gonna
All right, there's there's an entry list. Ross Chastain, Austin Dillon. That's
Dillon.
Swan's guy.
That's
Swan's gonna be there.
So yeah, Swan should be there.
So we should
Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, Danny Hamlin. I'm looking for our guys. Harrison Burton.
Joey
Logano, Bubba Wallace.
Oh, Logano, I got his jacket, Bob.
Yeah,
I think we're going to be in good hands. I think we'll be in good hands. Now I'm back. I'm back now. I need to find out. It's one of those things where, you get locked into something and you can't stop until you figure it out. That was one of those situations. So I do apologize, but we got it now. We got it.
Do we bring the NASCAR jackets to the Golden Steer?
I'm not bringing that fucking NASCAR jacket, Bob. I'm not bringing
I
the
think we got to
NASCAR
bring them
jacket.
back.
Come
I
on,
think
we bring 'em
man.
back,
I gotta
Michael.
lug it across the coast. I gotta lug
I think
it
we
from
gotta
the
bring it
east to
back.
the
I do too, man. I do. Now, Joe, I'm already on the West Coast. I didn't bring mine, so I might have to have you bring my jacket.
Okay, I mean, yeah, that's
Oh
fine.
my Joe, come
I-
on, don't
I
do
think we
that.
should. I really think we should.
We run it back.
Yeah, I think we should run it
Dude,
back.
listen. By the way, I was talking to your boy, Joe, who got us the reservation, the stoner.
Mr. Stone,
I was talking
Yeah.
to the stoner, captain of the Las Vegas Knights, Golden Knights.
great
He
guy.
had 2 goals the other night. He had 2 goals. So
Oh,
I
great.
sent,
he's
I
great.
sent him a
He's a great
little
player.
congratulations, blah. And then he's like, your boy Joey hit me up. We got you guys reservations at the Steer. I hope it's good for you guys. He goes, I'm not sure. I said, you're not sure. I go, you've eaten there. Is it? I mean, it's a tough place.
I
to get
wanted
in.
him to join us. I wanted him and
How would be
Jackie boy.
Eichel?
Yeah, I asked him and Eichel, but they're going to be in Florida while he's like, I'm going to be up in your part while you're up down in my part.
He said he's just gonna miss us. But this place, this Golden Steer place is like off the beaten path. It's in like a strip mall in the
Yes.
desert. If I could paint the picture for those of you out there who are movie buffs a
OG.
little bit, if you remember the movie Casino, Scorsese's Casino, when Pesci is out in front of the place called the Gold Rush, which is like their little headquarters that's out in the desert because he can't be at the casinos anymore, talking to Frankie Vincent with the toothpick in his mouth, walking around afraid of the feds. That is exactly what this place looks like from the outside. I saw the pictures. That's exactly what it looks like. A strip mall in the middle of a desert. That's all it looks like. But I will say,
amazing.
the lobster tails are the size of
They're
football.
Australian lobster tails. They're like
They're
2
gigantic.
pounders.
We
Yeah,
saw
they're
the-
gigantic.
There was a TikTok that I don't know if I sent it to you, Joe. You might have sent it to me. Somehow it get around.
It was Jack's dining room.
The place looks fucking unbelievable. Now, Joe, I know we're doing swole cuts, but it might have.
I won't eat
break.
all day. I'm just gonna have dinner. I'm gonna have
But-
that dinner and that's it.
I just think that weekend is going to be another one of these. Just
Yeah, like we're gonna
ridiculous.
get dinner before the Eagles concert, obviously.
I
Like
got.
that's good. What are you gonna eat at that dinner? What are you gonna eat?
I might golf.
You're gonna golf Friday?
Saturday.
I might golf
The
Friday.
Saturday, right? The Saturday, right.
Saturday,
The Saturday
yeah.
oblo. Yeah,
I got my only concern.
I forgot about that obligation.
Is the is when the Yankees play, because I
But
got a little.
Yankees. We're gonna get Yankees at like 4:00 though. I think
Oh,
That's
4:00 local. Is that a problem?
It
No,
could be a
that's good.
problem for the Eagles concert, I guess, if it comes down.
Eagles
to the
at
wire.
8:30, Bob.
Eagles is at
Eagles
8:30.
8:30. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's
Dude,
really
that game.
awesome.
Did you watch Game 4? How fast the first 5 innings? It was an
Flew.
hour into the game. It was the
It was
5th
tremendous.
The
It's
pitch
tremendous.
clock is.
But
what they
then
did with
the
pitch
6th
clock was
inning took an
amazing.
hour. It took like an hour to
It
get
does.
to the end of the 6th
But
inning.
you know what,
Another
though?
hour.
I don't think people mind as much because it's the playoffs that it's understandable that you're going to have a lot more different moves. I
Yes.
think what they did with the pitch clock is one of the best moves I've seen a league make. Like it has really helped. I love baseball, but the games were just too long. This really, I get worried when the Yankees are pitching. I look at that thing like a shot clock. It starts to stress me out that I want them to get going, and they usually always do.
Yeah, I mean, Yankees Red Sox regular season games used to take 5 hours. I mean, a regular season Yankee Red Sox game in late summer would take like 4.5 to 5 hours, legitimately, especially if it was at Fenway. A lot of times, I just remember those games were like marathons. They would start at 1 o'clock. The game wouldn't be over until almost 6 o'clock, 5
Could you
o'clock.
imagine?
Like it's just insane. It's insane. It's
Can you
it's a
imagine if we had
long
another
time.
Subway Series, World Series?
Hey, listen, you got
It
Dodgers,
looks
Mets,
very likely, man. It looks very,
you
very
got
likely.
Yankees, and either the Guardians or the Tigers, depending on who wins tonight. It's Saturday. We'll see. Obviously, people will know already by the time this comes out. Actually, a game of the ALCS will already have been played. So to recap,
Game two is
game
coming.
1 of the ALCS Monday, the Yankees have won game 1. We are
Yeah.
1-0 in the ALCS.
Yeah.
To recap that
Yep.
first game.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, if the Mets can beat the Phillies and the Dodgers, I mean, that is going to be
I thought the Dodgers
A
were going to lose to the
nightmare.
Pods. I really did. Thought
Me
they were going to lose to the
too.
Padres. I was
Dodgers are
hoping they
good,
were.
man.
Dodgers.
Dodgers are good.
They are.
Dodgers are
They're-
really
they're-
good.
they're-
you know what? If the Yankees did make the World Series and they're up one game in the ALCS right now, but if they did make the World Series, the Mets games, I wouldn't be able to watch the Mets games, which stress me out.
What do you mean
The
you would watch, Bob?
It'd be so hard for me. I'd be such a wreck because I would want to win it so bad. If they played the Dodgers, I think we would be the underdogs to where I would kind of expect it. I don't know. I just that series would stress me out, but it'd be great for baseball. Whether it's the Dodgers, I think baseball wants the Yankees to get through so bad, and then if you get the Dodgers or if you get the Mets, it's a huge win.
The Major League Baseball is salivating at any prospect except the Yankees losing in the ALCS.
Yeah.
Yes.
Either National League team is going to be a major market. It's a home run for them, no pun intended either way. You just don't want to see, the MLB doesn't want to see, not the people, fans of the teams obviously want to see it, but the MLB does not want to see the Detroit Tigers or the Cleveland Guardians get to the World Series. They want the Yankees to play either the Dodgers or the Mets. And I think we talked about how insane of a draw that would be months ago on the show if it ended up being New York against LA or obviously Subway Series.
Yeah.
What do you think is better? I think probably New York, LA is probably better for MLB because you get it both sides of the country. Everybody's rallying. Whereas if it's just a New York market, it's not as crazy. I
think so. I agree with that. I think if you ask the MLB gun to their head, I think they would prefer the Dodgers. Not to say they wouldn't mind the Mets, but again, that's if the Yankees. You don't even know if the Yankees are going to go.
Garrett Cole's pitching the lights out, Michael.
Well, listen, he got hit a little bit, and I do think that. Thank God for that wind in Kansas City during Game 4 because that last ball that got hit to the track probably is out every night.
Was I not in shock, Joe? I was.
Yeah, I thought it was out. I thought it was out.
It
got hung up in the air, dude. And by the way, I mean that was two balls almost hit to the same exact spot. But listen, he did what he needed to do. He got them through. He got them to the seventh inning. They needed a shutdown performance from a starting pitcher like that. They didn't get it from Rodon. And their bullpen, the bullpen has just been Boone. Bob said it on texted me, and everybody's been talking about it. Boone has pressed every right button, whether it's Weaver, Canely, even Clay Holmes. Got to give Clay Holmes a little bit of credit because he looked like such a meltdown guy.
He's a friend
Weaver's a monster.
We found out yesterday, Joe. He's a friend of the program.
How'd you find out?
I went down the roster to see who follows me. And
you're sick. I can just imagine Bob in the airplane just going through each Yankees Instagram to see
It's good to know, though.
Stanton's a friend of the pod too, apparently. No, Bob?
Apparently a friend of the pod. And ever
Stanton
since
is?
Yeah.
See, now I need that. See, that's really good because I'm a big Stanton guy.
That's what Volpe said. Volpe said he's a friend of the. Ever since Volpe gave me the Yankee Stadium, the address to send him. See how many boxes I've sent them? Like they got another box coming their way. Yeah, I've sent every which way. I've sent stuff that way.
A good day when the Yankees are wearing your brand, man.
By the way,
Bob's infiltrating the locker room.
I try. You're
gonna have the little breezy flag on the helmets come next postseason.
Yeah. Could you imagine, Bob?
Yeah.
By the way, Mikey with a great call on last week's show. It was during the Jets game going on. Mikey was talking about how the coaching, that he thinks the coaching is such a problem. And sure as shit, I was shocked. I agreed with Mikey, but Mikey, you probably were shocked even to see it that early.
Yeah, it was to me, it was surprisingly early. I don't disagree with the move. I don't like Saleh as a head coach. I like him as a D coordinator. I think he's more than adequate. Obviously, the Jets defense has been very good since he got there, but I was surprised. And then, they brought Rodgers on to Pat McAfee the next day. And he was talking about it. And I got to be honest. I mean, a lot of people, I think, were trying to work the angle of, well, Rodgers was responsible for this and yada, yada. But to me, he seemed genuinely like kind of upset and like remorseful about the way things ended up. But at the end of the day, it's a business and the NFL is a cruel business. I mean, they let this guy come to show up at work that day. They didn't even I would have called him. And
that's crazy, man.
You don't have to come in, today. We got to let you go. I don't know, to let him walk.
It'd be like you come in to sign on for the Brilliantly Dumb show. We just told you we don't no longer need your services.
Yeah.
That'd be a tough pill to swallow.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm prepared for that every episode.
Mentally, give me a break, Michael.
For that every episode when I come on. You got to be prepared for the worst. You have to be.
Get the fuck out.
Give me a break,
Michael. Scenario, Bob. You got to be a doomsdayer.
the job security
This
of
guy
you on the
just
Brilliantly Dumb Show. That's
wants. I
because
mean,
you
what
know
are
what
we
you know what he
doing
wants.
here,
You know what he
Mike?
wants,
He
Joe.
just
He
wants
here
us
we
to
go.
tell him
Oh,
how valuable
That's
yeah.
horseshit, bro.
how much of a
Horseshit.
pillar
Don't
of the
say another word
podcast.
about me. A pillar. I do like that. A
Hey,
pillar.
Pillar of the
The pillar.
Michael Galani, the pillar of the podcast.
Love the
Yeah.
pillar.
He wants all the voiceless to come in.
Foundational
he
piece. Are
he
you
wants that
serious?
glory.
Yeah.
Like Mel
Yeah.
Gibson and Braveheart. He just wants the troops
I
to
tell you
rally.
what, Bob, I'm looking at the subway. You know, my father-in-law worked for Budweiser. That was his career. So I have so many Budweiser memorabilia. And I'm looking at the Subway Series mirror right now on the wall to my right. And it lists all the Yankees World Series titles. And then it has that one in the middle against the Mets. Man, that would be so special, bro.
Joe, you don't know
Really
this,
would be.
but
Really
if they
would be.
get to the World Series, me and you are going up to the Audi Club last minute. We have to, and I need you there. I can't make that trip solo. It's
But
got
what
to
are
be
the games?
We don't know.
I mapped it out. It's basically what we'd be looking at is Friday, October 25th, game 1, or Saturday, October 26th, game 2, because the Yankees will be the number 1 seed.
If they win.
I think no matter what, right? Even if the Yankees are still the 1 seed, I believe.
They definitely
The
have
26 I could maybe do.
I don't know if they are. I don't know. Look,
I think they would get home field. I think they would. I think they would.
Yeah. I mean, they got to get there. They absolutely.
No, they do. Of course they do.
God.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Scary shit. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, this podcast is brought to you by the fine folks over at Squarespace. If you are trying to build your business today, make sure you do it with Squarespace. You absolutely cannot go wrong. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial when you're ready to launch your business today. They take care of everything for you. A one-stop shop to get your business up and running today. That's head to www.squarespace.com/dumb when you're ready to launch your business to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's www.squarespace.com/dumb to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Start your business, let it thrive with the fine folks over at Squarespace. Without further ado, fellas, I want to get into our buyer side.
We got bad news, by the way. It is
no.
the Dodgers get home field. They had the higher winning percentage regular season. So it actually would be the 25th, 26th in LA, and then it wouldn't come back to New York until Monday the 28th, Tuesday 29, Wednesday 30th.
We can't do that. We wouldn't be able to do that. We're going to be in
Arizona. If the Mets win, you get Yankees on the 25th, 26th.
Bob's
if the Yankees and the Mets. But if the Dodgers win, the Dodgers have home field advantage the rest of the way.
That really sucks.
Bob's going to be rooting for the Mets now.
That's really fucking.
I mean, I want the Subway Series too. I want the Subway Series too.
Well, I just think the Mets are an easier opponent. As good as they are right now, they're so hot.
Well, Mikey, does it go 2-3-2?
Yes.
Oh, that's such a stupid. Why do they do that?
I hate
it. Should go 2-2-1-1-1.
They don't want them to have to travel back and forth like that.
Give me a break. Every other league does 2-2-1-1-1.
I don't like 2-3-2 because really, as the away team, if you steal one of those first 2 games, man, you have an incredible opportunity in front of you. If you take one of those first 2 on the road, you get 3 straight home games. I mean, it's almost like the home team, the higher seeds almost at a disadvantage if they don't sweep those first 2 games. Because if you only win one of them and you split, then know you're facing 3 road games in a row. It could get dusted right there. You could lose 3 in a row, and that's it. You don't even get a chance to bring it back to your house. I think that's very stupid, but it's almost a sell, I think. I
like what they did with the first round, though, that they're rewarding. It's such a long season that you got to reward the team that played the best in the best way possible with the baseball season. Football, obviously different. It's such a shorter season. But like when they did like the first round, I kind of like that the home team is home for the whole thing to see in the first round to see who gets then into the playoffs. Mm-hmm. I actually like that because you got to reward them in the best way possible with how long the season is. This is my thought.
Yep.
You know,
I don't disagree.
But yeah, I mean, look,
well, that's a problem then because we're going to be in Arizona, Michael.
We'll figure something out. We'll figure something out. Fellas, let's get on into our buy or sell portion of the show. What did you see that you liked? What did you see that you did not like? Let's head on over to Mikey V. Why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, you know what? I almost want to sell that playoff format, to be honest. I think that would be a good sell. I'm gonna sell. This is gonna be a little crazy, but I'm gonna sell Nick Saban's take that I heard earlier on Pat McAfee and ESPN this week about Alabama. I thought it was a little bit of a, he basically said that they were content and almost arrogant after they won the Georgia game. And obviously everybody knows they lost on the road to Vanderbilt unranked. But for him to say that, and it's the first season he hasn't coached there in however many years, and to just put the coach in a position. Now, this guy, DeBoer, is already under insane scrutiny for losing that game. Insane scrutiny. There's no question.
I think he's a good coach too, Mikey.
I do, bro. The guy, listen, they lost one. What did Alabama, how spoiled of a fan base could you possibly be to think that you're going to replace Nick Saban and you're just going to what? You're going to go undefeated and be the number one team in the country and beat everybody again? The guy lost one game. It was a massive letdown game. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out partially why they lost that game. Hats off to Vanderbilt, yes, but there was a hangover from the Georgia game for Alabama. There's no question about that. So for Saban to go on there and just kind of restate the obvious, but then to go that far, I didn't think that was necessary for him to do. You're the king of that. He should be giving all the support in the world to DeBoer. That's his successor. Like, I just thought it was a little beneath Saban to do that. He never struck me as a guy who I could see saying something like that. So I was a little taken back by that from Saban. I did not expect to hear him kind of bury DeBoer like that. And he did. He really did.
But in what way did he say? Did he just say it was a letdown?
He said, no, he said there was almost an arrogance about Alabama after they had won. It seemed like there was almost an arrogance. Like you don't say that. Like you just, even if you think that, I just don't think you say it, because it makes your replacement, who everyone is putting under the microscope and everyone is telling, well, you're not Nick Saban. You're not going to fill Nick Saban's shoes. I just think it just wasn't a necessary move. I think the better play would have been Saban coming out saying, look, I think Alabama learned a very hard lesson this week. When you come off of an incredible high like they did against Georgia in one of the best games of the year, maybe it will end up being the game of the year. And then you come into an environment like that, those letdown games, it's a good lesson for these kids. It's a good lesson for the coach. Not to say in the way he said it, where it was like, well, it seemed like they were playing with an air of arrogance and that, they weren't prepared. I mean, he said all these things.
Yeah.
Like it's throwing your successor under the bus. And Saban doesn't need to. Saban is a god forever in college football. He doesn't need to say it. He's a god in football in general. He just doesn't need to say it. He's at the age,
so Michael, he probably doesn't care, to be honest. He's not trying to
I get it, but I don't know. It struck me. I'm selling that take from Saban. I just don't think that. I think it was beneath him. That's all I'm saying. I think it was beneath him. I don't think he needed to say that.
I know this was 2 weeks ago, but if you look at him in the box during the Alabama-Georgia game, when Alabama would score, it's like he didn't give a shit. He was very lifeless. Not to say that I expect the guy to be going nuts. It's just, I don't think that's him. Even when he was coaching, it's not like he would be going nuts. But he did seem a little bit checked out from. I'm not saying that he's rooting against them, but did you see that? Like they would score and he wouldn't move. He was just sitting there kind of lifeless. Which was interesting. But I get it, Mike. I don't think you should say that. The two guys that you wouldn't expect that you're getting, like I certainly wouldn't expect that you're getting to see weekly now on these shows too, which is interesting. You get Saban on College Game Day and then Belichick doing all these interviews. I never would have expected.
Yeah, well, Belichick, they always said, was like a lot, I don't want to say goofier, but they said he was a lot more, there was a lot more to him that was really funny. But he never showed that to the media. He was just such a stonewaller with the media. But you saw at the roast of Tom Brady. I mean, he was hysterical. He was good. He was hysterical. So that, and then Bob, to your point, when you say those things, that's kind of, you know what that is kind of a little bit. It's like when you're an insane person, because Nick Saban is an insane person. Like you're not who Nick Saban was if you're not mentally obsessed with winning And like he's insane to a degree for what he's insane about. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but it reminds me of like when the starting quarterback gets benched or is hurt and is watching the backup play, and the backup does something good and the emotion is non-existent from the starter on the sideline. They pan the camera to the starter and he's kind of just sitting there. If you don't think there's a wavelength in Saban's brain still that wishes he was still doing that, especially when he's there, I think you're wrong. I think he absolutely does. It's just eventually you have to call it a career at some point. So, I'm not surprised by it, Bob.
Well, I don't even think too. I don't think he was ready to go. I think the NIL kind of pushed him out. I think he was so against the NIL that when that whole came, yeah, because also too, with the NIL, he kind of lost his edge to where the way that it was set up, he would get all the top recruits. Now, in order to get them, you got to put up the money for
pay.
it.
You got to pay.
Pay to play.
You do. And these coaches that aren't going to adapt to that are going to go extinct. I mean, they're going to go extinct. Like Dabo Sweeney doesn't want to use the portal, is vehemently outspoken against the portal. Now Clemson's on a roll since they got steamrolled by Georgia the first week. They're on a little bit of a roll, but you got to adapt and, to the change because it's there and you can't ignore it. You have to just either go with it or you're going to get left behind.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as you know, baseball season in full swing, rocking and rolling here. Make sure you do it the right way if you want to go to the events. I know I'm trying to get to a Yankee game. So download the SeatGeek app today. Even if it's for the NFL season, you cannot go wrong. And starting right now, those who download the SeatGeek app, use code BDShow10. That's going to be BDShow10 for 10% off tickets on SeatGeek. New customer, returning customer, it doesn't matter. BDShow10 for 10% off your tickets on SeatGeek. Make sure you do it the right way. You cannot go wrong when you go with SeatGeek. Enjoy your live event today. I'm going sell. I feel strongly about it. I don't know if you guys have saw it. It was all over the internet. I was all over it with the hurricane that had came in last week. Did you see this Lieutenant Dan guy?
Big sell. It's a big sell.
It's a hard. This guy, for people who don't know, he was staying on a boat in Tampa and he was homeless before. He's got one leg, and this guy that would film him would call him Lieutenant Dan. He was all in it on it and whatnot. It turns out, and like the guy refused to leave his boat in Tampa and all of that stuff. It turns out the guy is a complete scumbag with his history. He tried to set a lady on fire. He's got
what?
He's been arrested in and out of jail 4 to 5 times. Aiden Ross, this streamer, who I got shat on for saying that I like him. I actually find him to be very entertaining. They gave him this deal with Kick, the streaming platform, that they give him like $100,000 a month. We're going to buy him a new boat, and they're streaming, talking with him, and he's not even like appreciative of it really at all when he says it. And the guy who made him big, he then said he wasn't paying his money or whatnot. There was this whole thing. When the kid was paying his money, he needed an ID from him to take it out. It's the nature of the internet, and it's scary. But then the Lieutenant Dan's daughter came out to say how much of a scumbag he is. Now this guy's going to have all of this money. Lord only knows what he's going to do with it. But when you look back to the history, he's a complete scumbag from his history.
I mean,
That's crazy. They didn't say
he has 14 mugshots. So that means he's been arrested at least 14 times. The thing about setting somebody on fire is correct. Punched a cop in the nose. That's correct. Drugs, other low-level violent crimes, just like, but Bob hit the nail on the head. The internet takes something, runs with it, and then you don't really know the whole story behind it. And that's why when you run with an internet narrative, as I like to call it, an internet narrative whereby someone's entire past, present, future has been dictated by what is being shown in a 20-second clip on the internet. And even when I first saw him, and I had no idea who. It
was funny when they first showed him.
I was like, this guy's just a whack job. This is great.
That's why it's such a hard sell for me. At the beginning, I thought it was fucking hysterical. I loved it.
Yeah. I didn't
know.
Now
you just realize that he's this guy you're rooting for is not a good person. He's not a good person. I don't care what you say. Like, once, twice, three times, but I mean, you're talking about a career bad person. That's just basically what it is.
It's bad, man. Yeah, I thought it was so funny at first. And the guy who started it all from him, he talked about it like he was waiting to get an ID for him to get this GoFund money out from him. This guy was throwing a fit, and then they give him this kick deal. His first stream, within like 20, 30 minutes of the stream, he drops the N-word.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
right away. The
Good
guy
God.
is like, and like, you feel bad for him because he's homeless. He lost a leg like in a car accident or something. So you feel terrible for the guy. But then you dig deeper and you realize there's a reason that he is where he is. He's been
That's
out and
right.
out of jail. He
That's right.
probably can't get a job. But the swing of this whole thing, and Joe said it was funny at first. I agree. I thought it was fucking hysterical to start, and now it's this whole thing. I'm selling the guy hard, and the way
That's a
he
great sell.
treated the guy who made him this big, was he was so unappreciated. Like they told him, we're gonna buy you a new boat. The Aiden Ross said, we're gonna get you a new boat. You're gonna get $100,000 a month. He doesn't even
100,000 a month
a month
to do what?
to stream. Yeah. So he doesn't, when they tell him this, he's not even like appreciate. You think there would be this like big thank you so much. He doesn't flinch. You know what it's like? It's like you ever give somebody a big tip, a really, really nice tip, and they don't give you much? No?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
That
mean,
bothers-
when I give a big tip, people are appreciative.
No, a lot of times I've had times where I give somebody a place where you don't even tip. I've given them like $100 bill or whatever, and they like aren't even appreciative. It really bothers you. Like when I used to get a big
Just
tip,
not being just not having any sense of appreciation or gratitude, just being like a non I mean, listen, this guy, obviously his social emotional intelligence is probably very, very low. I mean, I would have to say, considering how he's decided to live his life up until this point. So that
Joe,
doesn't
what?
really surprise
Joe,
me.
Joe,
Doesn't really
what?
surprise me.
Are you there's not a world where you're not gambling on a game right now.
This Alabama team,
it's
you know what?
The whole pot.
Saban might have to come back and say something again. They're losing right now to South Carolina.
Then you know what? Do yourself a favor. Turn it off. We'll finish this pod and then we'll go back to it. You'll be
Well, no,
doing
I just
yourself
looked
a
because they
favor.
just fumbled. That's why I looked.
Okay, go
South
ahead.
Carolina is a scrappy team. Scrappy.
They stink.
All right.
I mean, they're not. They shouldn't be beating Alabama, Michael. If they're beating Ohio State, you would be upset.
Yeah, well.
All right,
go about it right now.
Go ahead. Buy or sell.
Whoa. I have a good sell this week. I have a sell this week. And by the way, I got to tell you that this week I was very excited to watch the new movie, and I would advise you not to go to see it. I thought the first one was very good.
Don't tell me you saw a fucking Joker.
It was horrible, Michael.
Oof.
It was horrible.
Oof.
And I don't honestly know when they decided that they were going to bring everything and musicals are going to be the new thing again. It was like they forced this into being a musical. It had no place to be a musical. It was such a letdown. So disappointing. Now, I will say the acting was great. I thought that Joaquin Phoenix, he's a great actor.
He's great,
and the
yeah.
acting was great, but it was such a weird movie. Like it was tough to watch. Like I almost was just like, why did I come to watch this?
You know a movie's bad when you haven't heard anybody say a good word about it. I have not heard a single person say anything good about this movie. Not one person.
It got
bad ratings,
Yeah,
and I don't ever judge a movie based on like Rotten Tomatoes.
I was gonna say that. Like, I'm not gonna base like a lot of times these critics like they'll pan a movie and like, but it's not bad. But this is like it's a consensus across the board. Critics, viewers,
Michael,
everybody who sees it.
I said, because I talked to Beardown and I said I was going to go watch it. And he's like, the ratings, the reviews are really bad. I said, well, I'll be the one who deciphers that, who judge. Because I've watched some movies, if they're like a horror movie or whatever, the consensus
You're a sommelier of cinema to a degree.
Well, yeah, I appreciate movies. And I'll be very open. Like, I'm not biased. Like, if it stinks, I'm going to say it stinks.
That's right.
This movie was like, I walked out of it and I was just like, that was just such a waste of 2 hours, to the point where like I would advise you guys just don't even wait. Don't
I'm not
bother.
gonna watch
I
it.
would have normally gone. That's a movie. You know me with movies. I would have seen that because the first Joker was so good.
The first one I thought was good. This one was just, it was such a letdown. And I'm not even like, I'm not trying to shit on it. It was just very disappointing for somebody who
Sequels,
loves
dog. Sequels are
Yeah.
just so tough to nail, man. They just are. Like you could count on your hand like epic sequels. I'm not talking about like decent or good. Like you could count on one hand like Terminator 2, Godfather Part 2. Like there's not many sequels that were like, holy shit, this was better or as good as the first one. Like literally, how many can you name? Sequels usually
But
just
it's not
flop.
even that it was a sequel, Michael. They tried to make it into a musical.
I know.
Like,
It's a
I don't
problem.
know
It's a problem.
who pitched that, and then they thought, okay, this is a great idea.
Well,
Let's do this. Like, I'm watching the movie, and I didn't even know it was a musical. Halfway through, then he just breaks into song. I was like, what in God's name are we doing?
I can't.
Do you know what?
And if I want to go watch a musical, I'll watch like Hamilton, which was phenomenal, by the way. Like I'll watch an actual musical if I want to watch a musical. Like when did the Joker turn into a musical? But you know what? These people are going to say this is their artistic form, and this is so. You know, who are you to say?
Is Joaquin Phoenix still good in it though? Is he still doing the same character?
The acting between Joker and Lady Gaga is excellent.
How was she, by the way?
She was very good in it, and the acting was very good. It's just it didn't feel like I love watching like I don't watch all these superhero movies because I think they've overdone them, and a lot of them are money grabs, and they're trying to do all these things to get people to go to the Marvel universe. The one constant that I will always watch is Batman. Batman to me is like the OG superhero film. I think it's always going to be good.
Was that your favorite superhero as a kid?
Yeah, I think so. I think Batman was. I like Spider-Man too, but like those are real superhero movies. So I'm always going to go. And then just watching it, I was like, what the hell? What is going on right now? It was tough.
I always wonder, I'd love to ask like a director or like an actor, whatnot, like you have so many eyes on the movie, like when it's done. And I guess maybe it's a thing where it's just too late, but like you gotta know when you all go around to watch it, you have so many eyes on it that you have to know, okay, this thing is gonna flop, that this isn't gonna be the one. It's just like having like a pizza joint, like a guy who tries his own pizza. You would think that he knows that his pizza just isn't that good. So many people are trying it. So many people are watching the movie. I wonder if they think to themselves, this sucks. They have to. How could so many
I guess to a
not see what
degree,
everybody sees?
you know, movies, like making a movie, I just feel like is such more of a process than people realize. Like you got to pitch it to a studio. Then you got to write this. You got to pitch the idea. The idea's got to get bought. Then you got to get somebody to write the script. Then the script's got to get ready. Then you got to bring in your director. The producer's got to bring in the director. Then you got to bring in all your actors. Then you got to set a budget. Then you got to remain within the budget. Then you got the time constraint. I just feel like by the end of it, Bob, I don't know if they even really give a shit. I really don't know. I mean, I'm sure they do to a degree. They do to a degree. Yeah. But at the same time, like, I don't know. There's just so much to it. Like, how many movies have been made that you never even heard of? Like, movies
this isn't an independent movie, Michael.
I know that.
This is a saga of one of the most beloved superheroes.
But I'm saying, like, every director has had a bomb here or there. Even the big ones have had bombs. I mean, they have.
I don't know if Scorsese's really had a bomb.
I also think there might be some directors that come on and you have like a big actor on, and the big actor just kind of like steamrolls them. Like they're afraid to tell them these changes, where like Scorsese comes on and demands respect right away. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I think that could be
there's certain actors that are like nightmares to work with. Like more notorious than others is what I mean.
But if you have a guy like Scorsese, you have no choice but to buck up because he's.
You know, they said was a real problem.
Go ahead.
The old Batman,
Arnold Schwarzenegger in Batman Forever as Mr. Freeze. They said was a real problem. They said he was a real. They were paying him $1 million a day to be on set. And they said like he was just like it was just so annoying like to deal with him. They just said like it was just impossible to deal with the guy. Like I don't know. The movie was pretty terrible. So I don't doubt it.
I'd take that over this Joker.
Oh yeah, me too.
Tell
Me
you
too. And I've
what.
never even seen the new Joker. But
I kind of want you to see it just to get your take on it. I think you would be so
the
just
worst
appalled.
Batman was the Batman with well, no, that's the one. The one with
That's
George
probably
Clooney.
that's Batman
That's the
Forever.
worst No, that's
Batman.
no Batman Forever.
No, that was
Val
with
Kilmer. Val
yeah.
Kilmer's Batman Forever. Batman Returns is with George
Michael Keaton.
Clooney, Schwarzenegger. Yeah.
No, that's not. So it's Batman with Michael Keaton, Batman Returns with Michael Keaton, with Penguin,
Okay. Batman
Penguin,
Forever.
and Batman Forever is the third one. It's with Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer.
And then it's
that's
Ivy.
Two-Face and Jim Carrey. No. That's Two-Face.
Oh, yeah. Batman and Robin is the one you're talking about.
Batman and Robin. That's right. Batman and Robin is the worst Batman movie of all time.
Poison Ivy.
That's the worst Batman movie ever made. It has to be. That's the worst Batman movie ever made. There's no way this is worse than that.
That was with Chris O'Donnell was Robin.
Oh my God. With the bat nipples. Everybody had like the pronounced nipples on the suits. Yeah. That was the worst Batman I've
That could be Batman too.
I'm kind of curious to go watch it. I just want to see how bad it is now. Now I'm kind of curious to see. Just
Bob,
how
I don't
bad
think
it
you
is.
would make it through
He ain't
half
gonna
of the
last.
movie. I think you would walk out.
Really?
Last musical Bob watched was with me when we watched the Elton John movie, and we didn't realize it was a musical. And there's midway through, we're in the front row. There's balls in our face, and we just said, "We're done. Like this is it." There's songs. It was tough.
We went to a movie. It was the front row was the only seats. It was the Elton John one, and it was a sex scene right when we get in.
Oh,
So we go and we sit down and me and Joe just look up. The second we look up, there's just like a big set of
could have been Yamas. You never know.
Yeah.
Bro, getting stuck in the first row of a movie is like the worst thing ever.
Oh,
Well, that's why
worst thing
I
ever.
worried about with the sphere. If you go too close to down into the sphere,
They
it's kind
said
of like
that
this.
apparently, the closer you go, the better.
No, the closer you go, the worst.
no.
The higher you go, the better.
The best they say is the sections that end in 5, 6, or 7, and
Is that us?
or third section or fourth section, which is the third row back or the fourth
Is that
to
us?
last row. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good
Good
job.
job, Mike. Yeah, you're very good with that stuff, Michael. Clap it
Yes.
up for Michael. W. Michael in the chat. W. Michael in the chat. You're a cornerstone to this podcast. The pillar to
The
this
pillar
podcast.
of the podcast.
That's right. There he is. I'm serious, Mike. By the way, I'm 100% serious. And you know that. I don't have to say it. You know it. I'll tell you what else you know. You can't go wrong with Mint Mobile. It's a tough week for Joker, tough week for Lieutenant Dan, not for Mint Mobile. With big wireless providers, what you see is never what you get. Somewhere between the store and your first month's bill, the price you thought you were paying magically skyrockets. With Mint Mobile, you'll never have to worry about gotchas ever again. When Mint Mobile says $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan, they absolutely mean it. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/TBDS. That's mintmobile.com/TBDS. $45 upfront payment required. New customers on the first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. Joey D has his hand up. Take it away, Joseph.
I just wanted, before we get into the top 5, I wanted to take a moment to wish an integral part of the podcast and Brilliantly Dumb family a special happy birthday. Little Dom's birthday today.
Little
Hey.
How about little Dom's
Come over
birthday?
here. Come over
Come
here.
on
real
over here,
fast.
little Dom.
Come over here. Real
And
fast.
the winning
Real
goalie
fast,
on the
real
Chelsea roster
Bring him
today.
up. Come on.
fast.
Bring him on over.
The winning goal. Oh,
Dom.
there he is, little Dom.
Did they win?
Wait. He's got to hear you. Hold on.
But Dom, did you guys win today?
Yep.
That
Way
a
to
boy.
go,
By the
Dom.
way, happy birthday.
bud.
Thank you.
You know what would be cool for your birthday? Maybe going back to Disney World or something like that. That'd be pretty cool. Did you have fun at Disney World?
Yep.
What was your favorite part?
What was your favorite part of Disney?
I think it's a long story, I think.
Good for him. Good for him. Respecting the podcast. Good for him.
It's a
Respect
long,
to the
it's a long
podcast.
story, Bob. It's a long story.
What a great quote.
Yeah, yeah.
What a
That's my pride
great-
and joy right there,
The
man.
apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
That was so great.
Rather not tell you. It's a long story.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, happy birthday,
Tell you
Bob.
what,
Happy
this
birthday,
kid
little
is
doll.
he's ripping some farts over here, bro.
Oh,
And
my.
Is he?
they stink, man. They
All right.
stink.
Well, here's what we can do. Let's move on over to our top five. Today's top five is going to be top five pasta shells. Now, I think committee wise, we could be pretty loose with this, with what comes out. Two Italians here, so I think this is right up your boys' alley. But yeah, it's going to be top five. Would you say pasta? Top five
Yeah,
pasta
pasta.
shells or shaped pastas?
No, not shells, because shells is a type of pasta. So no.
Correct.
I would just say, yeah, just top five types of pasta. Top five types of pasta.
Okay, I took it home last week, and I think Joey D came second.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Week.
Yes, he did.
So I think I'm gonna go. You know, I didn't even. It's crazy that I didn't think about this. All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go one.
Wow.
I'll go three.
Joey D 3, Mikey 2. I'll go fettuccine. Right at
There you go,
Oh,
Bob.
we're
Good
gone with the
job.
Venetini.
Good
yeah,
job, Bob.
yeah,
Good
I knew that
job.
was gonna be a thing.
That was we were in Italy when Bob said that.
I didn't realize how crazy of a moment that was gonna be. I mean, just no idea.
Tremendous.
All right. Fettuccine for Bob. I'm up. I'm gonna take one of my favorite pastas. I'm gonna take give me rigatoni in the
That's a
first
good one.
in the one hole there.
Rigatoni off the board. Joey D.
I'll go spaghetti. And then I'll take come back with lasagna.
Spaghetti and lasagna off the board.
Garfield. I'm gonna
Yeah.
take bucatini. At
That's a
2.
good one, Mikey.
Gatini. Okay. All right. Give me gnocchi.
Gnocchi's a good one too. God, I love pasta, man.
Pasta's the
Yeah,
best.
pasta's the best.
I am so fat. I could eat pasta every
night,
every single
night.
day.
I think everybody could, man. I really
If
do.
there was one thing that if you told me there's one thing you could have for the rest of your life is you could do so many different variations and sauces and styles. I mean, every day. I
It's a
wouldn't
lot-
get sick of it.
It's a lot of fun.
Oh,
really
it
is.
is.
It's a lot of fun. Give me gnocchi and then give
It's a
me
lot of-
ravioli.
It's a lot of fun.
It really. Joe's right. There's so much you could do. There's so
Ravioli.
much different sauces and things you
Yes,
could throw in
yes,
there and
yes.
types. It's the best.
I'm gonna take orecchiette with the third
Or
pick.
get the ear-shaped pasta,
Suction cups, some may call it.
a staple in the Mikey V's pasta.
It's, I mean, orecchiette broccoli rabe sausage is probably a top 3 pasta dish that you could ever have in your life. If you've never had it and you see it on a menu somewhere, I encourage you strongly to order it.
What do you think's the
Yeah.
number one pasta with sauce? Like bolognese, like
What do you mean, like the number one pasta chosen?
like the
like a
top
Or the number one
spaghetti or a
sauce.
penne.
spaghetti, yeah, with
Spaghetti, a penne.
with like bolognese.
I think
Yeah, or a
spaghetti
marinara.
pomodoro is probably like the most popular
Yeah.
marinara or pomodoro. But
By the way,
Yeah.
I like orecchiette. I was just so afraid to pronounce it that
Yeah,
I
Would you to
didn't.
call it orecchiette?
There's a couple that I would
give me,
have.
go ahead and mark me down for the orecchiette. I love
Yeah.
Look at orecchiette goes a long way.
orecchiette.
Joey D, over to you.
All right, I'm gonna go tagliatelle.
Tagliatelle, very nice.
Very
Very
good.
That's a good
Very
one.
nice. Very nice.
And then I'm going to go. I'm gonna go with the fusilli, the corkscrew shaped pasta.
yeah, fusilli's great.
That
hate
is
it.
really, really good, man.
Don't hate it one bit. Mike
Yeah,
V.
this is very close to bucatini, so maybe I don't know if I'm going to pass on it. It's a staple, though, man. I mean, I don't think I can pass on it just out of principle. I'm going to take linguine. I think spaghetti to me, like if you gave me a choice, spaghetti, linguine, like if you go anywhere, any restaurants around here, it's like if you get a side of pasta, the choice is usually you could pick penne, spaghetti, or linguine. I always go with linguine. Always. Linguine with white clam sauce. I'm taking linguine. I just can't see how I don't. So
By the way,
have to take it.
okay, I don't think Henne's not off the board yet,
It
right?
is not. It is not.
No, you can take
Okay,
Penny.
so yeah, give me penne, and then give me see this is one of my favorite ones. I'll probably pappardelle.
That's a good one.
Pappardelle.
Very
Pappardelle.
thick noodle. It's a
Yeah,
thick-
I
Pappardelle
love
is
a-
great.
love a thick noodle.
Bob and I, all of us, we just love food, man.
Yeah, it's actually
too.
sick.
Well, that's why the
It's really good.
tagliatelle is really good too. The tagliatelle is not as
Yeah.
big, but it's good.
Tagliatelle I would take over the pappardelle just because it's like the pappardelle is more like a ribbon. It's very thick.
I like a thick old boy, dude.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
then pappardelle is your style.
All right, we go back over to Mikey.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna take this pasta. Nobody's gonna even know it, but I'm just gonna take it anyway. I'm gonna take gemelli. Gemelli is
Yeah,
like a twisted.
good
Joe,
one.
you know it? Okay, yeah.
It's like a twisty.
It's a little
wrapper.
twisted
Yeah.
braid. Yep.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
good.
And
I'm
back
gonna go
over
with
to
this
you.
because I think it's the last pasta on the board and it hits. I'm gonna go with macaroni. I think a good macaroni goes a long way. And you
What,
can
an
do so
elbow?
much
Like
with
the little elbow?
Yeah.
Going
I would just
elbow.
I would call it elbow. Yeah.
Give him the elbow bone. It's good. Yeah, I mean, look, that solidifies mac and cheese too, you would think. Although people mix up the
Yeah.
mac and cheese. There's a lot of people now, and I don't like this, but there's a lot of people who do mac and cheese with penne. And
No,
that
that's
I'm not a
No,
big fan.
that's
That's unacceptable.
crazy. You can't do
No.
that.
But I'd be go ahead, Michael.
No, I was gonna say a good pasta that was left out there. Really
There's a
good.
few.
Cavatelli. Cavatelli pasta is a really good
Cavatelli,
pasta
yeah,
to leave out
Cavatelli's
there,
good.
man. Really good. to leave out
tortellini got
there.
left off the board.
I know.
Farfalle, which is the bow tie pasta. Rotelli is really good. Those little wheels. Have you ever had those?
Yes,
Mikey?
of course. The wagon,
Bobby had the little wagon
wheels.
wheels.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yep.
You know
Those are
what?
good ones.
And another one, Joe, a little orzo. The
Oh,
tiny,
yeah,
tiny
the
little
tiny little
orzo.
ones, yeah.
When you make that when you're sick, a little butter and cheese, man. If you're feeling like sick, you need that kids meal.
Yeah.
A little orzo goes a long, long way.
I'll be honest with you. I was worried about having enough for all of us to have enough, but when you think of it pasta wise,
Oh, there's so many.
yeah. By the way, I love doing the top fives, and I think people that love the top five segment of the show, we need in the comments because we struggle now more so than ever. It's like doing Bob the Sports videos where it's hard to think of all these different videos. We need in the comments to hear people's ideas. We take a lot
What
of
do
the
you
top
want?
fives. Yeah, what?
Like, what do they want to hear?
Oh, for sure. We
Yeah.
need it.
Yep.
So Mike, if you could roll through the list again, please, sir.
Bob's got fettuccine, gnocchi, ravioli, penne, and pappardelle. I have rigatoni, bucatini, orecchiette, linguine, and gemelli. And Joe has spaghetti, lasagna, tagliatelle, fusilli, and elbows.
Some solid ones on there. I don't know. I really don't know. I think the one that I was confused on was last week more than ever was the bus of who it was going to be.
Yeah, it's very objective. It's very objective.
Subjective.
Subjective. Sorry.
All right. Well,
We can't hear that, Mikey. We got
I
to
know.
hear it.
Dude, I bought a fucking soundboard. It's not working. I don't know what to tell
Oh, that would have been tremendous.
you. I can't get it
know,
figured out.
you're the right man to have a soundboard too. You really are.
I know.
All right. Happy birthday, Dom, ladies and
Oh,
gentlemen.
little Dom.
That has been another edition of the Brilliantly Dumb Show, fellas. We will see you next week. See you in Vegas. Take
See you in
care.
NASCAR.
Like, comment, subscribe.